Destiny was released on September 9th, 2014. First shown off at E3 2013, we got a glimpse of Bungie's new IP first-person shooter, Destiny. Their success with Halo in partnership with Microsoft set a high precedent for Destiny to be a top-of-the-line AAA title in capable hands. The hype was real. Okay, I won't go over the entire history of the game, so I'll start with, it was different. I've been playing since the game launched on that day, with breaks here and there, namely the year and a half I took off from Season 6 to 13 when I came back. Was that a year and a half? Feels like it. That was definitely the biggest span of time I took off. Other than that, maybe a month or two here and there. I've put hours into this franchise, to say the least. But why so much? Am I addicted to the weekly rotation and semi-annual content drops? Maybe. Do I feel that dreaded FOMO when I'm not playing? Yeah, a little, but what I keep coming back for mainly is the fundamental mechanics of the game. It is simply the best feeling shooter out there in my opinion. Turning and aiming, jumping, double and triple jumping, skating. No. Not this kind. Like this. I mean, come on. Movement and using your abilities combined with unique guns, armor, and activities that provide a challenge are added and updated. Sometimes with a little too much time in between, House of Wolves to Taken King DLC, for example, but done so nonetheless. The game has been updated and expanded for the past 7 years, and will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. It's a universe to sink your teeth into. That isn't to say it's without flaws, because it has and has had plenty of shortcomings. From broken weapons and armor, downright unforgivable content releases, piss poor balancing, and everything in between.
Get burning for me. See now,
But this isn't a video about what I don't like about the game, or why you shouldn't play it. It's why after all the mishaps and headaches I've endured for 7 years now, I continue to play it. It has a proper mix of space magic, western shooter revolvers, rockets that didn't just explode when they hit the target, but made more explosive bombs that tracked. Blink! Press F for hunters losing Blink in Destiny 2. Also, why is it still called Destiny 2? They should have lost the sequel number a long time ago, after Activision left, seeing as how we're not getting 3 or 4. Anyways, shoulder charge. Hopefully you're getting the feel for what I'm describing here. There's more to Destiny than just the game itself. The developer weekly updates and Vidocs are a helpful insight to what all goes into the design and tuning of the game. As well as live streams for different DLCs or events coming up, the community managers will host a live stream and show off some gameplay of upcoming content with some of the people working on the game and interact with the chat. They're also fairly active on different forums for the game and social media. You see, it's the time investment I've put into the game that's reciprocated from the developer as well. Bungie has shown they intend to add and improve the game, not abandon it. That's why I haven't either. Now, sometimes it's tempting to be cynical and look at the format the game is laid out in and think, it's just an addicting, habit-forming structure to keep me coming back and playing. Well, you're not totally wrong, but you wouldn't keep coming back if it wasn't fun to play. Well, maybe some people do. To touch on that a little more, the game can feel very grindy for not much payoff sometimes. With some objectives in the game being based on bounty completions or specific activities to complete with specific weapons or subclasses, it's important to remember why people play video games in the first place. They're fun, or at least they're supposed to be. It's entertainment and a hobby to enjoy yourself with. I think a lot of this is lost on people these days, especially with streaming platforms like Twitch, where a lot of the top streamers tend to be very competitive and take the games very seriously. Well, honestly, they can afford to. It's their job. These in-game challenges and goals, more often than not, are just something for you to work towards, to attain a reward, but not something you need to rush or are required to finish before X amount of time. Now, about time. The in-game rewards from in-game activities and weekly ritual playlists are set on a rotation that resets every Tuesday. Some activities are even set to be available only on the weekends, like trials and the exotic vendors are. This might feel constricting if you don't have much time to play, but this is in place to keep things fresh every week, not to force you into completing activities within the time frame. Much more can be said about games as a service these days being a standard many are unhappy with. A whole video could be spent on this topic. Sure, this is also true, because even though we don't have to buy the game again, we'll spend probably around $40 or more a year instead of one $60 payment for the game, and that's it. I dislike this as much as anyone because we're paying much more for one game than we used to in the long run, but we're also playing each game much longer. I'm generalizing, but look at the biggest games out there. Fortnite, League of Legends, Valorant, Warzone, I could go on. These games have a seasonal model that players will end up paying more, but they will be playing the games for much longer periods, and in most cases still enjoying them. I don't know if I would say it's better than the old model, but it's just different, and no game studio these days is going back. Full transparency, I do believe Bungie looks out for their bottom line and does implement certain things in the game to keep people coming back and playing. There's no doubt about that. Is this inherently wrong though? No, I don't think so. They're a business and they're trying to stay in it. Yes, the game can become an obsession of weekly grinding for fear of missing out, but it isn't just that type of game. Play the game at your own pace. Take your time. Play with friends. Make friends. It's a lore-filled universe with a sandbox filled with buttery smooth shooting and space magic madness. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and you also play, tell me your experience. When you started playing and why. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.